IUPUI.
Yeah, on a lot of the tickers and the score pages, it still says IUPUI.
Is it not called Ooey Pooey anymore?
No, they fully rebranded. It's like IU Indianapolis.
Purdue
IU Indy.
pulled out.
Purdue pulled out.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said.
It's not a safe method, Purdue.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect. Yeah, so just prepare to...
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
That train is off the track.
I feel like you can't just jump through Neptune and be okay.
Just prepare to...
What the show needs is more dogs and bears and chickens and stuff.
Yeah, so just prepare to be awash in unbeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is November 10th, 2024, and this is episode 727. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials. This week, we're going to discuss a surprising 3-1 week with games against Dallas, Orlando, Charlotte, and New York. Joining me this show are two of our three analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jameson Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Shout out to veterans. Go hug a veteran today, as you're hearing this.
Shout out. And from Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender. Mixing up the drinks and the crappy jingles, it's the human haiku, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? 3-0 week. Fantastic. So proud of the guys.
4-0, I thought.
4-0. Wow, did we play 4 games?
Well, everyone gets their own truth, so sure. It is 4-0 to Jason, 3-0 to John, and
What's your truth?
My truth was that it was a rare tie, the fourth game this week. Because I can just do whatever I want, so that works out. So before we get into this week of basketball, I want to remind listeners that they can start supporting us, if they're not already, by heading over to patreon.com/undebeatables. And you can join for as little as $1 per month. A shout out to our new patrons, new and returning patrons, meeting us up on the Slack and chatting it up with us before, during, and after I would say, interesting games this past week. I guess I want to start this off with a haiku that came from
the human haiku, right?
Wait, Joe, you have a whole bit where I do a haiku, and you're just telling me you've outsourced that?
Well, cutting costs these days, and inflation and tariffs. I think that tariffs are going to hit us real hard.
Sure, the haiku tariff.
Haiku tariffs and podcasting tariffs. So I'm going to use ChatGPT to tell me about the Pacers' winning week of basketball.
Okay.
Pacers claim the court. Buzzers echo, sings of pride. Indy skies alight. See? We don't need you.
Do you think ChatGPT is confusing Indianapolis and Sacramento? And they're using to light the beam?
In the flyover states, you never know. Maybe Maybe they just forgot who we were. The Pacers did go 3-1 this week, as I'd mentioned at the top. Big game against the Dallas Mavericks. Woo-hoo. Monday, November 4th, which of course had gone to the NBA Finals last week. And guess what? Our guys showed up. Siakam had a great game, 23 points. Benedict Mathurin got the start, 16 points, 7 rebounds for him. Miles Turner dropping 30 on, I don't know if it's a hometown team, but the Texas team, 30-11 for him. And Halliburton picking up a double-double. We got a lot of injuries. We'll be talking a lot about that this week. But Nesmith out this game. Of course, Jackson and Wiseman will be out for the season. And we got a nice win. And we closed this game. I think this team is... They're closers. If we can say one thing about this team is they're closers. Second game of the week. Pacers taking on the Orlando Magic at home Wednesday, November 6th. And they win this one 118-111. And they win this one basically wire to wire, but it was relatively close much of the night. And I mean, I think Orlando's a talented team, and I think they've got a good young core of guys. But we were better at this night. We had 6 guys in double figures, really spread the scoring around. And leading scorer for our team is Benedict Mathurin, who again got the start. On the Orlando side, Franz Wagner dropped 28 on us, which, could have been worse. Could have been worse. So there is, and also the third game of the week, there's some debate on whether or not this game happened, but Yahoo says Friday, November 8th, Pacers played in Charlotte, and it says they lose this game to 103-83. And we I think we ended the game on a, let's see here, 50-19. We were on the wrong side of a 52-19 run. So we scored 19 points, and they dropped 52 in that time span. And we went from, being basically tied towards the end of the third quarter to all the wheels falling off. Sparks were shooting up everywhere. Babies were crying.
There was a Furphy sighting.
There was a Furphy sighting. Colson, quick aside. He got the hottest haircut on the team, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure everybody in the locker rooms told him that. Looking dapper out there with the shaved sides mullet. It's party in the back, professional NBA player in the front.
And the sides are for ventilation or speed or what?
Yeah, I think both, probably.
Okay.
You really want, sort of like gills. You need this right around your ears to just be able to breathe.
Does that help if he's underwater, or how does this work?
I mean, yeah, it gets real, I don't know, hot on the basketball court.
I believe it.
Humid.
I believe it.
Yeah.
This game also of note, Nembhard out and Nesmith out still. And we miss T.J. McConnell this game.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever?
Yeah.
Out with
Boy, was it
illness.
noticeable.
Yeah. And the last game of the week, Pacers, this Sunday afternoon, evening game. Pacers back home against the New York Knicks, who they had dispatched from the playoffs last year, if I remember correctly. Sunday, November 10th. And they finished this game strong. These guys are closers. Like I had said, they close games. And they go on a nice, strong run to win the game handily. And, big news of this game was Benedict Mathurin setting a career high, 38 points. Tyrese Halliburton back looking like he was last year, 35 points, 14 assists. Miles Turner just playing out of his gourd, 26 points, hitting threes like crazy.
5 threes for the big man.
Yeah, and really not a lot of action off the bench. Really, we just had Walker and McConnell. It was six apiece.
Oh,
That's
well,
not...
well, don't give, throw Quentin Jackson some love. He got us 4 points.
He did. But normally we spread it a little bit more than we did. But we got all sorts of guys out with injuries now. Obi Toppin misses this game as McConnell was back, so we got some injury issues going on. But anyway, so all that's a long way to say of like that's a 3-1 week of basketball. Apparently, we beat some good teams, and then we just got blown out by Charlotte, and come back home and take down the Knicks. So we're apparently third in the East, and I just feel like we've been playing like garbage.
Yeah, the
what's
East
your
is
takeaway
garbage.
here, Colson? Is just takeaway that the East is we're not great and the East is worse?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The Orlando game was, you're right, it was kind of close throughout. They were missing Paolo Banchero, their superstar. They're now below 500 since he had a 50-point game against us and then went out with injury after that. I thought the Dallas game was a great win, against a really good team. We shot the lights out and hit lots of layups, so that helps. And they were out without some of their big men, which helped us because we were out with all of our big men. This Charlotte Hornets game is just inexplicable. It doesn't even make sense to me. We just a terrible stretch of basketball. The end of the third, beginning of the fourth, and then the end of the fourth. I think it was 21-4 run to end the game. Just what's going on? I mean, I know LaMelo Ball is having a nice year. But man, I was so disappointed. Otherwise, talking about a sweep of the week with the Knicks and the Dallas game being real wins.
Yeah, I mean, for the first half of that Charlotte game, I thought it was maybe this team is looking ahead to the Knicks game, right? Because the Knicks beat our pants off earlier in the season, and that was basically the only game that we haven't been competitive in.
Right.
And so I thought maybe that was what was going on. But then the guys actually came out of halftime and looked maybe as sharp as they've looked for about a 6 to 7 minute stretch. Like I think we went on like a 13-0 run, and really it like culminated with I think a Turner dunk and a and one, and really looked like they were looking like they should, like a professional basketball team that was taking on a shorthanded Charlotte team that's not good even when they're at full strength, and ready to just put them away. And then kudos to Charles Lee, the Hornets coach. He managed that game well, called some timeouts, like rallied the troops. They stepped up their defensive intensity, and then we just, it was. Part of me wants to go back and rewatch that bit
I don't
just
know if
to
you want
see
to do that.
what was going on, because in real time I couldn't tell. Like it wasn't like something popped out. Like we basically just went ice cold, is what I could see. Like we just stopped making shots, like even good looks, and we don't get any stops on the other end. So like teams always have a chance to come back against us. And we could just never get that offensive rhythm again. And as we alluded to earlier, I think the lack of TJ McConnell made a huge difference. Like Halliburton was having a horrible game. And that's going to happen from time to time. And you'd like to be able to like plug in somebody else that can like run the ship and get guys good shots. And we just didn't have that person because Nemhard was hurt as well. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, you just got to throw that game out. And like, I think we talked about this preseason. Like, we drop a stupid game to Charlotte every year, like, and so this was our one. So
and we'll lose to Chicago.
Yeah,
every year. Yeah.
So, but I mean, good on the guys to bounce back tonight with a nice win against.
This is a beautiful
decent Knicks team.
Yeah, beautiful game. This was just a lot of fun to watch. If you're a Pacer fan, I recommend watching this. I mean, this rivalry is back. You know, we played in the Eastern, Conference semifinals last year, and they don't seem to like each other, which is great. Apparently, Miles Turner and Karl Anthony Towns have been playing together for since like high school or whatever, and have a history. That was a great matchup. Get a career game from Mathurin. In fact, I think last week I said that he had the game of his career, and that was last week. And he was incredible. He's 7 3-pointers, just beautiful finishes at the basket, playing really solid defense, working his butt off. Yeah, I thought this was great. We also we're just out of guys, so we've already mentioned that Isaiah Jackson and Wiseman are out for the season with ACLs or Achilles. I'm always they both start with an A. I'm easily confused. And then now I've got Neesmith out till December and Nimhard for 2 weeks, maybe till December. Obi Toppin misses this Knicks game, and we have to roll out guys that are two-way players. Quentin Jackson, Enrique Freeman, and Johnny Furphy see real important minutes in this game. And Quentin Jackson just getting his turn to defend Jalen Brunson. And Shepard got his chance too. I mean, we were throwing young guys on an All-NBA guy. So just a great team win. Thought everybody had their moments. Watch this game. It was fun.
What did you guys think about I guess I just felt the team has been. I mean, I know it's early, but what do you think about the consistency? Is it worse than last year? I guess it is early. We've got injuries, but I don't know which team is going to show up on which night. Jason, do you think it's worse than it's better than I'm thinking it is, or do you feel the same way?
Well, I think that our offense is not nearly as unstoppable as it was last year.
Yeah,
I think teams are keyed into what we do. They are getting into Tyrese Halliburton's shirt early. And I think that's causing some kind of problems, when this team doesn't score a lot, like I said earlier, they don't play defense. So, actually there was a cool sideline, or I think it was a halftime interview with Jenny Busek in the Charlotte game. And she was saying she was really proud of the guys because they didn't have it going on the offensive end, but they were still scrapping and fighting on the defensive end. And she was like, the offense will come eventually, but sometimes you have a tendency to not play as hard on the defensive end. And I sort of agreed with her. And then of course the wheels came off after that. That's a whole nother question. But like, I would push back because I think that this team has been hyper competitive in every game but two. Maybe this is a topic for Thursday's show, but I think that the problem that this team has right now is sort of their step on the throatness or whatever that instinct is not kicking in. So like, that Charlotte game's a perfect example. They go on this 13-0 run. Charlotte's kind of on the ropes, and then they don't, have the ability to sort of push it from 13 to 20 or whatever. The same thing happened in the Orlando game. That Orlando game was a lot closer than it needed to be.
Yep, the entire game.
We were up by 20 or almost 20 in the second quarter. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, again, kudos to their coaches. They called timeouts and managed the game relatively well. But, like, that's a team without their best player that was having a hard time getting buckets. And, we just should have pushed it to 20 or 25 and then just taken the will away from that team, which is a thing that I thought this team did really well last year on occasion. Like, when this Pacers team gets up by 25, it's hard to imagine coming back on them just because they score so well. And so that's something to keep an eye on. The Pelicans game I thought was similar. And there was one other game that I was just looking at the schedule. The Philly game. Those are games that we did not close well, and I guess the first Orlando game as well. Banchero goes for 50 in that game, but we did not close that game well at all. We didn't close that game like a professional basketball team. And so some of that is on the guys. Another part of that is the other team gets paid like a lot of money to do this stuff, and their coaches are really good, and they have a whole season of tape of like how to defend us, I think. And if we flip those games, let's say, what did I just list off? 4 games. If we flip 2 of those, then you're looking at a team that's 7-3, and you're feeling quite all right about things. So I think it's not as bad as it seems. That doesn't mean that there's not things that need to be fixed, but I think that the NBA is hard, is what I would say. And I think we all came in with very, very high expectations for this team. And so when they're not looking like the best version of themselves, it's easy to get disappointed, I think. I don't know. Colson, what do you think?
I mean, Joe, and I understand what you're saying. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with, our offense isn't the same, right? So last year we were number 1 in points per game. Yeah, we were number 2 in pace. We were number 2 in offensive rating. This season we're 13th in points per game. We're 16th in pace. We're 15th in offensive rating, Last year we were 27th in defensive rating. Now we're 23rd, so that's getting better. But the offense isn't clicking the same way. I heard Quinn say, these guys on the floor don't get a lot of burn together. And it was like Jarris Walker, Furphy, Quentin Jackson, and I was like, no, they've never played together except maybe in practice, maybe. So there's some stuff that's changed. I don't know. It is frustrating that we're not just coming out like an offensive well-oiled machine. And it's frustrating that we can't close these games out. I mean, I thought the Dallas game and the Knicks game in particular were games against really good teams that we did stretch the lead down at the end.
I agree.
And those games, and those hearten me and give me hope that we can maybe figure this out. But it is a make or miss league. If down the stretch against New York, Halliburton hit a couple threes, Miles Turner hit a 3. Matherin hit a couple threes, if those, and Ben Shepherd hit a 3, he'd been cold all night, If those things don't go down, we don't win by 10 or 11 or whatever it was. And maybe we don't win. But everybody was in a good mood. Everybody was jumping around. It was a really great, fun win. But we've been cold for stretches in every one of these games, even the games that we, look pretty good in. There's just long, dead stretches. There's some, you're right, Jason. I think that teams are more ready for us. I think guys are getting into Halliburton, and we're trying to figure out how to change that up. We still can't stop anybody. I mean, it's if you can't score 130 a night, which is what we used to be able to do, and now you're only scoring 114 with the rest of the league right in the middle, you're gonna win as much as you're gonna lose.
Yeah, I think it's very clear on opposing coaches' scouting report that if you can slow this team down a little bit, then it gives yourself a fighting chance, right? And so that's the number. Like, the defensive intensity from night to night feels different than it did last year. I mean, the defensive intensity with which the the opposing team is playing the Pacers. I don't know if you feel that way too. Maybe it's also partially. I would be interested to look at some sort of analysis of our offense from the second half of the season after the sort of quote unquote rule change or whatever, because that slows us down a lot. Like, guys can get their hands on and grab and get away with stuff that they couldn't that first half of last season when we were putting up 150 on a regular basis, So yeah, I don't know. That doesn't mean it's a problem that needs to be solved, though, Joey. I agree. Like, there has to be something that gets fixed. And I mean, a game like that Charlotte game, Ty was having a tough night, and you got missed. You have a weird lineup, but you still have your top two guys. You got Ty and you got Pascal, and that's a game. And you have maybe 10 of these throughout the season every year, where it's like things just aren't going your way, but your superstar refuses to let you lose and just grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and gets you a win, right? And that's the thing that's like got me a little bit concerned. But
maybe maybe the team has been less inconsistent than some individual players, and Halliburton, I think, being the worst offender of that.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's got the highest ceiling, but he's had games where he just disappeared. I think Siakam has shown more of that sort of, like you say, Jason, like just the willing a team to victory. He's had more of that than Halliburton has, and I think he, I think even Turner this season so far has shown more of that.
I agree. Siakam and Turner have been very consistent. Mathurin some
as well. But I will say that, when Halliburton's playing his game, he's smiling, he's hitting threes and dishing, and that's if he's gonna get 32 and 12, like I'll be quiet, like
Well, that's when we're really hard to beat, right? I mean, when he can just pull up from anywhere, when he's confident and aggressive and going with that teardrop, the defense doesn't know what to do, because he's either going to get his shot or he's going to get it to somebody who's wide open. And when he plays at that level, we're really hard to stop, because we do have weapons at all positions,
And I mean, it's interesting that you bring up, the two guys that you point to, Joey, are the two veterans on the team, right?
Yeah.
That have been through this. Pascal has been through being the top guy on the scouting report, and coach is doing everything they can to make their defense stop him, and then he's solved those problems. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the challenge for Tyrese this year, I think, is he's the top name on the whiteboard, and they are scheming and doing everything they can to make his life difficult as hell. And so he just has to solve that riddle, basically. And I have all the confidence in the world that he will. He's a super smart basketball player. And, his shooting touch has been god-awful for the first 2 weeks of the season, or whatever we are, 3 weeks of the season now. If you believe in averages, and you believe that statistics aren't lying to you, like, he's going to come back. He's going to, come back to the mean at some point.
Right. Yeah, and I think for everyone, that's the hope, is that he'll just go back to what what we're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it to be. I'd like it to be, but he doesn't have to take over every game. He doesn't need to do 30 and 12 every game. But I think when he doesn't have that shot, like when the shot's not falling, then the defense doesn't need to respect that as much, and that's such a big part of his game is just opening up the floor by making them guard you, from the logo, and there's just it just creates so much space, for the offense to hum. So
yeah, you're right. It'd be great if he could always hit from the logo, but he's not hitting. He's shooting 27% from the range. That's bad.
Yes.
League
And he's
average
taking
is
10 shots a game, 10
Yeah.
threes a game.
yeah, league average is 33%. So that would be better than our best player is shooting. So
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, obviously it's something to keep an eye on for sure. So going forward this week, the Pacers, you know what, guys? It's Emirates NBA Cup time.
hey,
Starts this week. I think the first games are Tuesday. Pacers actually have a couple days off here. No game Monday, no game Tuesday. They play Wednesday at Orlando. And then Friday and Sunday host Miami at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That Friday game is the first game, first NBA Cup game for the Pacers. So we get to see the court, wild and crazy court, which will be super fun. And then get to see a different court, but the same opposing team on Sunday. That's a 5 o'clock tip for those interested. What do you guys think is going to happen this week?
well, I loved the 5 o'clock tip today. I can watch it after work. Also, the crowd was full of a bunch of rambunctious kids that seemed very excited. Seemed like a really good atmosphere in there. So good on these 5 o'clock games. I assume we'll win next Sunday for sure. And we don't lose the NBA Cup, so guess we're getting all of our Orlando games while there's no Paolo. I'm going 3-0.
All right. Well, I think we'll go 2-1. I think, and we'll definitely win the cup game.
Okay.
So I think we'll be good. I feel good about this.
Miami's might be really bad. I think, as predicted by your favorite Pacer analyst, John Colson. They're bad.
I think they are just laying the trap perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they're going to win the NBA Cup.
And I think something weird happens in that at Orlando game. I don't see us winning the game this week.
Oh, no.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, no.
I think the wheels fully come off.
Oh, no.
Just too much Johnny Furphy.
His gills just going crazy out on the court. I gotta say, if Benedict Mathurin is going to play like this, I don't see how many. It doesn't matter how many minutes Furphy plays. Mathurin looks like the real freaking deal. And you talk about somebody's name being at the top of the coach's whiteboard, and you got to scheme for him. He didn't play the second half of the season for us, so Mathurin's not at the top of the whiteboard right now, and he is just doing incredible stuff.
Similarly, Furphy didn't play for us last year.
Man,
your response?
Does Indiana love white boys that shoot 3-pointers? Every time he shot, the crowd was like, "Ah!" And of course he missed them all, but they were just ready to explode. Furphy.
All right. Well, I guess that puts Harper texted in and said he's going to go 1-2, and he said the only game we're going to lose is the cup game, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which, that's where he and I differ.
Well, I mean, if we lose our first cup game, I don't know if I'm coming back.
What, like for the holidays?
I just maybe just never. Just
He's out.
I'm out.
Okay.
Got to win this one. If Indiana ever wants Colson to have a homecoming,
No pressure, Pacers. just the entire fandom of one of your hugest fans ever.
It's all on this one game.
yeah, potentially. I mean, I love the cup, and it's their own fault. They made me love it last year, so They
Yeah.
have only themselves to blame.
Just make sure you don't tweet like that. Was it the Hawks fan? Forget what team it was. Did you guys hear about this? This guy tweeted he had seats like in the 5th row or something like that, and so he took a selfie and then tweeted, what was it? You better play well, Hawks or whatever. Don't make me run on the floor. And then like did the hashtag, whatever the team hashtag is, and then ended up getting kicked out of the arena and banned for a year
Wow.
because of the tweet.
Oh no! I mean, he didn't try to run on the floor.
No,
or
he didn't
anything?
run on the floor at all. No, it was like a joke. It was like very weird.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was the Rockets. That's who it was. Yeah, it was.
I was gonna say, Trae Young should fight it in court or something, but I don't know anybody that plays for the Rockets. So, Fred VanVleet,
Fred VanVleet maybe can.
Jabari Smith,
So anyway, I would say if you're gonna tweet to threaten the Pacers that they better win, just don't hashtag it with, whatever our slogan is this year.
yes, sirs.
Yes,
I think
sirs.
it's
Yes, sirs.
Yeah,
How do we feel about yes, sirs?
I don't like it at all.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, I guess I didn't like. I was hearing people use that, like the sirs, over the last couple years, and I like it better with like yes, sirs. I like that. I like it all right.
all right.
But besides that, I think we covered this week of basketball for you. We'll be back on Thursday with some more in-depth discussion. And until then, you can find us on social media. We spend a lot of time over there. It's where the truth lives. We are on Twitter at Undebeatables. We are on Facebook.com/The Undebeatables. Our website is theundebeatables.com. There's a contact form there. You can use that to send us a message. And email. Shout out at theundebeatables.com. And at the website/store. It's where our merch is.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick-Leonard. Turn out the lights, the party's over. So, Joe, I was trying to give you a haiku that was better than the ChatGPT, but I can't remember how many syllables are in anything. I don't know. Is it 575? 575?
Mm-hmm.
Swift like thunder's call, Mathrin soars, fearless heart, rising star in flight.
Wow. Jason's going to get that tattooed on his chest.
Yeah. Except the fearless heart is too close to courageous heart.
I
know.
agree.
It's
like,
Yeah, we could tweak it before you tattoo it on your body.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we got to use his nickname.
Maple Mamba.
Maple Mamba?
No, it's Butt Scootin' Big Mac.
How many syllables is that?
Well, no, it's something like Pacers try and use their skills, and something about Furphy's gills. I'll work on it. We'll figure it out.
Well, no.
The
We
great
can
thing
just
about
do-
haikus is they don't have to rhyme.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like ChatGPT is rhyming them. Maybe I'm over it. They rhymed the first one and it threw me off.
So butt scootin'. What was it? Butt scootin' Big Mac.
Yeah.
Butt scootin' Big Mac. Mathrin soars, fearless heart, rising star in flight. I like butt scootin' and rising star in flight. I think together. I think it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just
It's good imagery.
It is. It's just imagery. Yeah.